What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mandra Metal, and today we are back in F1. Now, looking at some of the activities, we are just focusing on some morale and also our second driver. We are going to Silverstone. We're heading over to the UK. Great track. It's part of the top 5 on my list of tracks that I enjoy, along with Austria. I didn't say it in the previous video. And we can see, just by coming to this weekend, there is a little bit of rain forecasted. But that's fine, because it's only in practice. The race and qualifying are going to be dry. That's what we need. We don't want to have a wet race. Or better yet, maybe we do. Because looking at last week's performance, in Austria, we had amazing performance in the wet weather. So maybe that's our trick of to actually winning, is having a wet race. So maybe we will be hoping for more wet races to come in the future. And we are going to head out to the track. We're going to start off with our track acclimatization, and we are just going to try and nail these corner gates, getting the right speed. And you can see I run a little bit wide at the end of the lap, but it's okay. The point of this track acclimatization is really to understand the track, know when to accelerate, when to brake, and making sure you perfect every turn that you do, or at least every part of the track. You don't want to cause any wheel spin or spin outs. Now, we are going to have a look at a flying lap that I did do on the soft tires. This is just to see how we are going to perform maybe through to qualifying. I'm not going full out. This is more just an indication of, like, let's get out to the tires, let's see if we do a flying lap, how well we can actually do with this car. You know, we performed so well in Austria, and we brought a few upgrades in Austria. We're hoping for some more upgrades coming through to Hungary, which will be the next Grand Prix. They're out in Budapest, and now you can see I have set the fastest first sector. Perfect. We're almost 1 second up from our previous best. Keeping in mind, we were on a set of hard tires. So this is standard. And running a little wide out of Cops is not what we want. This Cops is really a tricky corner for myself to get right. And then Maggots and Beckett's is quite fun. A very nice little straight here, and then we are now on the hanger straight, 1.2 seconds up. Not the best lap time at the moment. I mean, we didn't get the fastest second sector, which is alright, but we're still going. We're now 1.5 seconds up, going into the final 2 corners, and here you can see I run wide again, and that's something we need to get under control. We don't want to keep running wide, and we do set the fastest lap with a 1:29.4, and that's where we call it. We set the fastest lap in practice 1. We call it for there. We've done what we wanted to do. The times are quite close, as you can see. Lando Norris and Sergio Perez are just about 1/10 behind me, and we are actually gonna skip practice 2. Now, I haven't actually explained to you guys why I do this, why I skip a practice. It's because you generally have more than enough time to complete all your practice programs within maybe a practice session, 2 if you really want to, and it's just going to put unnecessary wear onto the car if you are running in all 3 practice programs. So I generally just like to skip it. Every person is different. We are doing our race strategy now. Looking quite good. The pace wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, we didn't have the medium tires, and this is now the drawback of skipping that practice 2 session. The tires that were allocated for practice 2 we aren't able to use now in practice 3. And the times weren't bad, but the tire wear was quite high. And this is something we can focus on in the race, but it's not too bad. And now for the quali sim, also not too bad, but it could have been a lot better. I realized that going out didn't actually start the practice program, so there was wear on the tires, so we went back in, started the practice program. We did set the fastest lap of a 1:28.7. Charles Leclerc came in second, and Sergio Perez came in third. Now we are all set for qualifying, and qualifying is going to be interesting. Hopefully we're able to replicate what we did last week in Austria, because that was probably the best race so far this season, and I'm very excited for Silverstone. Let's see how we go throughout this qualifying, and yeah, hopefully we're just gonna be able to perform and show you guys the pace of the car. We are about to head out for our first flying lap of Q1, and here we go. Approaching turn 1, pretty much flat out for this sequence of corners. 7th gear, 8th gear, now downshift all the way to 3rd gear to get good rotation. Now approaching turn 4, you don't want to have any wheel spin, making sure you get a good exit, set yourself up for turn 5, and then this Wellington straight here, DRS wide open, up into 7th, up into 8th, gears screaming in your ear. Now approaching turn 6, you don't want to run wide here, but you want to get a good exit. Then turn 7, also controlling your throttle here, because if you are too hard on the throttle, you will spin out. Now turn 9. Now we are approaching Cops. This is going to be a good overtaking point for us in the race. Getting an amazing exit here. Also pretty much flat out there. Approaching Maggots and Beckett's. You don't want to carry too much speed into this sequence of corners, otherwise you will ruin your 3rd sector. As you can see, we have run wide, but we do set the fastest 2nd sector of this lap. And we now are on the hanger straight, approaching turn 15. Again, slow your car down, getting a good exit out here, approaching turn 16. The next hard sequence of corners, making sure we don't run wide here, keeping it clean. Riding the curb just to help control the car. Now onto the Hamilton straight, and where does it put us? It gives us the fastest lap of qualifying with the 1:27.8. What a lap at Silverstone. What a great lap. And you know what? We are going to call it there, because I don't think anyone is going to match this time. And yes, we have it right. They are 3/10 behind us. George Russell comes in 2nd and Carlos Sainz in 3rd. What a great start to qualifying. Now we made it to Q2. What we are going to do is we're just going to set a banker lap, and you're going to have a look at it right here now. We end up setting a lap time of 1:28.5. Not too bad, but we are still going to go out on a new set of softs. Hopefully we can make it out of Q2 and progress to Q3. Let's ride on board for our last flying lap of the qualifying session. Now coming out of turn 3, getting a good exit out of turn 4, setting yourself up for the Wellington straight. We are clawing back some time, DRS wide open, up into 7th, up into 8th, making sure we set ourselves up for this turn 6, braking quite heavily, down to 4th gear, get some good rotation on the car. Now turn 7, getting a good exit here is going to help set us up for the 2nd sector. Now we are 4/10 up on our previous lap time. We need to get a great exit out of Cops. Are we able to do it? We brake ever so slightly. You don't want to run wide like I just did there. We've lost a little bit of time. Now approaching Maggots and Beckers, trying to keep as much speed as possible in these corners, but not too much. You don't want to send yourself wide here, but we keep it nice and clean. Now onto the hanger straight, DRS wide open. We do set the fastest 2nd sector for this lap. Let's have a look as we go through turn 15. Now getting a nice exit. We are 8/10 up on our previous lap time. Approaching the end of this lap. Where is it going to put us? Onto the Hamilton straight we go. And we are, where is it? What is our lap time? We are first. We make it through to Q3. And honestly, I thought we were a Formula 1 driver. I didn't know we were a chef, because at the moment we're cooking. We're cooking with these lap times. We put in a 1:27.5. What a lap. Lewis Hamilton did come 2nd and Carlos Sainz was 3rd. It's going to be a straight shootout for this pole position at Silverstone. Going out in Q3, we did set a banker time and it was a 1:28.1, not the best time. I think it was just ever so slightly faster than our first banker time in Q2, and we are now going to go out for our final lap in Q3. Are we able to get pole position? We are currently 6th on the grid with the first lap time we hit, and everyone else is around us, so we will be seeing some flying laps, but are we able to match it? We are 1/10 up, going onto the Wellington straight, DRS wide open, now up into 8th gear, approaching the end of sector 1, we set the fastest first sector, approaching turn 7, heavy braking zone, not the best entrance, but we do get a good exit out of turn 7, approaching turn 8. We are 4/10 up. This is looking like a good lap so far. Can we get a good exit out of Cops? And yes, we do. We are a little bit up on our previous best. Here we go. Approaching Maggots and Beckett's. Getting some decent speed out of these corners. Don't run wide. And there we do. We run a little wide. And it kills our time completely. We set a personal best in the second sector. Max Verstappen has just put in the fastest lap. He's done a 1:27.0. We need to be up by 1.1 seconds to match it, and at the moment we aren't doing it. We are only 4/10 up, approaching the end of the lap, going onto the Hamilton straight now. We are 6/10 up. Where does it put us? We are now, where are we? We are 6th on the grid, where we were looking at hopefully achieving a pole position. We weren't even able to match the times. We put in a 1:27.5. The two Red Bull drivers locking out the front row of the grid, and Lando Norris coming in 3rd. What an end to qualifying. It was exciting, but we are all set for the race now, and hopefully we are able to make better inroads into the race. Let's have a look.
You join us in the United Kingdom today, or Great Britain as it's alternatively known. Well, it's certainly a great day today as we welcome you to one of the crown jewels of British sport, a track of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Hamilton, Iceman, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Bottas, Gasly, Leclerc, Fittipaldi, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, Tsunoda, Zhou, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
And that is the classification for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Hopefully we are able to put some good lap times in and maybe even win. Now looking at the race strategy, we are not going to follow the default strategy. We're actually going to go onto the medium tires and then put the soft tires on at the end. Hopefully the strategy does work out for us, but only time will tell. Let's have a look. It is 5 lights and we are underway for the Silverstone Grand Prix, getting a great start up into overtake. Now, approaching turn 1, but we're ever so hesitant on the accelerator and we brake too hard. Not getting the best start over there, not getting enough positions, but it's okay. The guys in front of us, they're not doing too bad. Hamilton is 1 second back. Something must have happened to him because he is very slow at the moment. Now, Max Verstappen is second, Russell is third, and Lando Norris is leading this Silverstone Grand Prix. What a start by Norris to take the lead of this Grand Prix. Now coming out of turn 7, where does it put us? We are still 4 tenths behind Russell. Hamilton definitely has something wrong with his car because he is 1.7 seconds behind us. This is going to help us later on in the race because it is creating some breathing room from the guys behind, so we can attack as much as possible in front here, hopefully overtaking some of the guys later on in this Grand Prix. Now going on to the Hangar Straight, approaching turn 15. The guys in front are just so rapid out of 90 Beckett, so it does mean that we need to be quicker other parts of the track so we can get nice and close. But again, we do have the 5th fastest car at the moment on the grid, so to put us here, we are very much out of place, and it does look like Hamilton has just gone into the pits, and Max Verstappen does put in the fastest lap so far. My teammate is also into the pits. He must have suffered some sort of damage, and yeah, let's have a look on lap 2 now. Here we go, they have just broken out of DRS zone, and now lap 4, the race has calmed down a bit, but we are trying to manage our gap to the drivers behind and trying to keep our gap to the cars in front. And now we see there's something going on in front here. We do have a yellow flag. Russell and Verstappen keep swapping places. I don't know what's going on now. Both of them are into the pits. We'll have a look in a minute at the replay and see what happened there. And let's have a look. Norris is now again leading the Silverstone Grand Prix. Here we go from Norris' perspective. They've just rammed into each other. We thought it was bumper cars, but it wasn't. Norris is now 3.2 seconds up ahead. We need to now see if we can catch Lando and hopefully take the lead of this Grand Prix and hopefully even potentially win this Grand Prix, because that is our goal at the moment.
A mechanical issue means you've lost one of the gears, I'm afraid.
Set some decent time,
You have lost
but
access to one of the gears.
unfortunately, yet again, due to our own negligence, we have a worn gearbox, which means that for the next couple of laps, we are going to be suffering with more gearbox issues. We have just lost the gear, and this is not going to be any sort of reassurance for our race. We were looking at a potential great finish to this race, but not changing the gearbox is the worst thing we could have done, because now our race is theoretically ruined, because we aren't going to be able to get the best out of the corners, especially when we need to be in 3rd gear. We're going to have to go down a gear now, and it just means that we are going to be a little bit slow coming out of some of these corners. And there you see where we want to be in 4th. It just throws you off. Honestly, while driving, it was a shock, and now to try and learn a better braking point and understand the car better now because you've got a gear missing. On lap 10, Sergio Perez does overtake me, and I'm a little slow out here. Carlos Sainz dives down the inside and takes the position. He is now up into 3rd place. We are back into 4th place with Alonso breathing down my neck, and I'm honestly so frustrated at this point because we knew we needed to change the gearbox and we completely forgot about it. It was not something that, this is not something that should be happening. We should have changed the gearbox. But, you know, you live and you learn. Something that we need to start improving on. But on lap 13, at least we get our gears back and now we can attack the guys in front again. Hopefully we do still have the pace with the tires and with everything that's gone on in the car. Hopefully we are able to attack Perez. Alonso is 3 tenths behind us, but we just need to manage the gap there. So we're trying to save our overtake. We do run wide, going out of cups, approaching Nuggets and Beckett. Alonso is very close to us, and the tires are getting a little worn. They are 13 laps old, but we have to make it to lap 16 because that is our pit window. And now on the Hammer straight, we are using our overtake. We want to protect ourselves from Alonso, making sure that he isn't able to overtake us going into turn 15. But he dives into the pit at the end of lap 13. This means he is going to go onto the hard tire, and we are hopefully banking on the soft tire being great. And on lap 14, we see that Norris has pitted. Perez is now into the pit, and I think Stroll does pit. Yes, he does. And we are now leading the Silverstone Grand Prix for the first time in our Formula 1 career. We are now the leaders of this race. On lap 15, the guys behind us have pitted, but we are still banking on those soft tires, hopefully performing a lot better than we wanted to. And the tire wear at this point, I think we're sitting above 50% tire wear. We were quite slow, and it was difficult trying to control the car, and this is not great. At the moment, the top three are myself, Norris, and Verstappen. Russell coming in fourth, and Carlos Sainz in fifth place, 25 seconds behind us. And at the end of lap 15, we pull the plug, we head into the pits, and hopefully we manage to get a great pit stop. Now this pit lane is quite slow. We are going at 60 kilometers per hour, and it just feels really long to have this straight. The guys behind us are now approaching the finish line. We get a great pit stop, making sure we get even so it's a 2.3 second pit stop. Hopefully we can bring that time down later on in the season. And now we are dropping like flies, and where do we end up? Where does this pit stop put us? It puts us P8, no P7, sorry. My bad, P7. Charles Leclerc does have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He is now 1.1 seconds behind us. On lap 18, we are approaching Gasly, and we are hopefully going to overtake him, almost running into the back of him, by getting a great exit out of turn 7. You can see we're going around the outside, and he's a little bit hesitant, and we overtake him right there in a spot that you wouldn't think would be possible. Now, next on our list is Piastri. We do have the faster tire. We have got a two compound difference than the guys around us, so we need to be hyper focused on our goal here, trying to win the Silverstone Grand Prix. But I wonder if it is too late. Let's not worry too much about that. We set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at the end of lap 18. Now on lap 19, we are right on Piastri's behind, up into overtake, around the outside of turn 6, setting the fastest first sector. Alonso just in front of us, but Piastri is not able to reclaim that position, and we managed to keep the position. Now lap 21, we finally catch up to Alonso, trying to dive down the inside. A little bit of contact between us, but he's got the inside line now, trying to do a switchback, but we weren't able to achieve it. We get a good exit out. He's a little slow, a little bit of contact there. Now, going into cut, are we able to overtake Alonso and not cause a collision like what happened in 2021 between Hamilton and Verstappen? But we run a little wide, and we do end up taking the position. Now through Maggots and Beckett, we are chasing down the Ferrari driver. Sainz is in third spot, Perez in second. Are we able? We have about 5 laps left. Unfortunately, we weren't able to chase down the Ferrari driver. But what has happened is Leclerc has come back into this fight, and we are saving all our areas for this final lap of the Grand Prix. We are on lap 26 of the British Grand Prix. Leclerc is 3/10 behind us. He is going to have DRS on this Wellington straight, but we are up into overtake. We are protecting ourselves from Leclerc. We don't need this Ferrari driver to take this position. We want as many points as possible for this championship. We have come back into the championship fight with only 66 points behind us. Now let's have a look. Going out of turn 8, approaching turn 9. Do we get a good exit? We do get a good exit. A little slow. Leclerc is right there, but we are using as much of our overtake as possible. Now, having to focus on Magnussen Beckers. We make it through all right. Approaching the hanger straight. DRS, we don't have it, but Leclerc does. We are using our overtake. We need to protect this position from this Ferrari driver, but he's trying to dive the inside. There's a little bit of contact on my back wheel. Lando Norris wins the British Grand Prix. What an amazing race from Lando. Great job. We are about to hit the checkered flag, and we come in 4th position with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Some decent points for today. Starting P6, ending P4. We went up 2 positions. You know, that's all we could have asked for. Leclerc does get driver of the day. And here is your race winner, Lando Norris. What a race. And a British driver has just won the British Grand Prix. What an amazing feat from him. And we have a Red Bull and a Ferrari driver on the top steps alongside him. But that is it for the Silverstone Grand Prix. Not a bad race. And we'll have a look at the standings now. Where does it put us? We did end up getting a fastest lap, which is what we wanted.
I think for
Now,
driver
one
of the
thing
day,
we
I'd
do have
probably
to
pick Lando
consider
Norris.
is that
He lived
our
up to every inch
teammate's
of his
contract
reputation
is
today,
up
and I
at
think
the
he'll be
end of
going
this
home
race,
quite
so
rightly,
we might
a bit
be
proud of
looking
himself.
at a new
Let's move on to the
teammate for the
constructors.
second
And
half of
pulling
the season.
further ahead
Maybe
in the
not. But
standings,
let's have a look at the
it's
standings.
Red
We are
Bull.
currently
There was
3rd
also a
in the
strong
Drivers'
showing from the
Championship.
McLaren
There's
team
still a
today
lot
as
to
they
play
made their
for.
way up the
53
standings.
points difference between the
After
top
an event
spot
like
and
that, who knows what the
ourselves.
sport has in
And we
store
are still
for us
5th.
next time
We're the
out.
only ones scoring
Be sure to
points.
join us
But guys,
once again
that is
as
it
we
for the
continue
video.
to
Thank
bring
you
you
so
all the
much for watching.
excitement
Like it,
Formula One.
subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Cheers, guys.